What's going on, everybody? Dogman Dan here. A little Warframe in the background while I talk to you about the new changes to the official fan channel's qualification criteria. It's all been updated now, and maybe I'll answer a couple facts here, a couple questions that are going to be common. And of course, if you have more questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Most of you know I've been a part of the official fan channel since the first day that it was released. I was one of the first 7 channels out there, and I've always been proud to be part of that. Even in the bad times where we've had a couple of really bad patches, and I've been very vocal about it, I've been very proud to be part of this, and happy to be part of it. You know, it goes without saying that there's not many developers out there. There's more now in terms of smaller developers, indie developers that really get involved and are trying to be involved with their community. And I think DE still is on top with that regards. But let's just talk about what's going on. So you're thinking about becoming an official channel. They've updated the criteria now, kind of because they had a lot of channels in there, and the requirements were pretty easy to get themselves in. So they've made it a little bit more challenging. But on the flip side of that, the return on the investment to you, I think is a positive thing from both ends. So qualification-wise, your content has to be primarily Warframe related. It doesn't mean that you can't have other stuff. I mean, I've got plenty of other stuff, but the primary amount of content on your channel does need to be Warframe related, meaning, you know, this is what you do the most of, you know, and that I can fully understand. You now need to have weekly updates. You need to have weekly content posted on Warframe content. Okay? Before it wasn't like that. Now it's weekly, and I can see why that needs to be. They want you to have at least 1,000 followers or subscribers. So either on Twitch as followers, subscribers on YouTube. This kind of fits in both sides of this. So for Twitch channels and for YouTube channels, just as FYI. Have at least 24 previous Warframe videos or streams on your channel. Okay. And obviously be valuable addition to the Warframe community, and that's something that they kind of determine based off the content that you have, whether that will be. And in regards to that, they would like you to have quality, high level, high quality controlled content, if you will. Which when you're starting out can be a little bit more difficult, but there's plenty of tools out there that are free, that are inexpensive, that can get you just as good quality as the top stuff that's out there. For years, I've used some of the lower end amount of stuff, and I've pushed it to its limits to make it the best that I can for everybody, and I've not really had any complaints about that. Okay, so those are your musts that you have to have. Warframe related content, weekly updates, 1,000 subs or followers, at least 24 previous videos, and deemed a valuable addition to the community. Okay. What you cannot do for your channel is violate or promote the violation of Warframe's end user license agreement or terms of service. And that's pretty obvious. I mean, in that regards. I mean, you wouldn't deserve being part of the community if you're breaking the license or you're encouraging people to break the license agreement. Whether you fully agree with the whole thing, you just can't go out and tell people to break it. You know what I'm saying? You can't contain illegal, racist, sexist, hateful, pornographic, or otherwise offensive materials. That can kind of be in question on some channels that currently exist. But regardless, I can understand, obviously, why you wouldn't want to have all that on there as well, and most people wouldn't have that anyway. Now, in return, this is some of the stuff that you would receive as a channel, and I can verify that this stuff is all there. I mean, obviously, having done this for 3 years. So, of course, they link you to the Warframe.com community resource page, the fan resource page. So you'd have your link in there with a little image and all that stuff. so people can go over there if they're looking for stuff and kind of scroll through everything. Review copies of new release items on every major update. So that's part of the day one access that I've talked about every time content gets released. And I always tell you in the beginning of my update videos what's been given to the fan channels and the media for release, for review, you know, for opinions, that type of stuff. And that's kind of like what you would get, you know, for being supportive of the game and creating the content and all that you do. They're going to offer you some items to test and review and kind of help the content keep going and growing. You know what I'm saying? You would never get everything that comes out on a patch. You only get portions of things here and there. And I can tell you without a doubt, you will never get Prime Access as a item. Prime Access is off limits to even the fan channels. Okay, you have to buy that yourself, and I fully agree with that. Platinum giveaways to support the growth of your channel. Yes, you are allowed to receive platinum codes. They prefer whatever platform that you generally are on is what you will get the most codes for. But as you grow bigger, as your audience grows bigger, and as you can prove that you have an audience that's varied through, you know, multiple platforms and such, you would also be eligible for codes for the other platforms as well. Though they'll be still a little bit more limited than they would normally be for your regular platform. Like in my case, I can give out PC codes like there's no tomorrow, but console codes, while I can get them, are not as many. So if I were to give out, you know, 20 PC codes, I'm probably only giving out 5 console codes on each console. So it is what it is. But I do have a base on that regards, so that's why I am eligible to kind of get those codes as well. But you can, you know, as you go and grow, that type of thing. Of course, top tier channels are eligible to have their own custom glyph added into the game. And you have a chance to be featured on, obviously, Warframe official channels, like on YouTube, when they talk about you, say on their Facebook page, or maybe be part of the community spotlights, that type of stuff. So there is that there. Obviously, the support is subject to change without notice, but they pretty much let everybody know what's going on. Channels that fail to pretty much maintain the official criteria will potentially have their support revoked, just as FYI. Of course, it's all each going to be on a personal nature, so that's not something that you know, you could ever really discuss in a public type of setting. You can download, or you can go over to warframe.com /community/fan sites criteria, or just go to the fan resources page and then click the link that says get started, and it'll bring you over there to kind of see everything that's going on. If you're worried about, you know, it being so strict with the new criteria, don't worry. The process for pretty much removing inactive channels is not going to change. So you're only at risk of being removed if you stop covering content or you're producing like good quality stuff for a long period of time. However, you know, that option is there. And if you were removed, you can reapply to possibly get yourself back on the channel program again. So just keep that as FYI. So yeah, I mean, you're not going to get, okay, I got a channel and I don't have to do anything now and I'm still going to be a channel. That's just not the case. Because there's over 80 channels out there that they do support right now, and they want to make sure that the people that they are supporting them. So let's talk a little bit quickly about some facts, if you will. Okay, some things you may ask. Okay, so things like, when would I be able to get my own glyph? Okay, so they're still reviewing the impact of our first wave of glyphs that went out, which obviously it's the bigger channels. I was happy to be part of that first round. So they don't have a timeline yet on when more will be put in there, but wave 2 channels will be based on a combination of different factors. Things like some requirements for getting a glyph would be primary factors. They're going to look at your channel size, they're going to look at the quality of your content, the length of time you've been a fan channel. If you're new to the program or you're still developing your channel, you're going to have to wait longer. That's just the way it is. could you send an image in anyway? They do say yes, feel free to send in an image if you like, but it pretty much won't do anything until you've met the criteria and are at the point of that. At which point, if you've got something and they think that you deserve it, they'll go ahead and recommend it, and they'll contact you personally and get some stuff set up. Now, I talked about the requirements for glyph submissions before, which are pretty much a 512 by 512 pixel, completely owned by you. Do not submit anything that is not 100% owned by you or by DE. So you're allowed to use some of DE's content, images or that type of stuff, but it has to be part of DE stuff or your own creations. You cannot just copy somebody else's stuff and that's it. Glyphs should be an icon or stylized graphics, no photos, no pictures, none of that stuff. Obviously high quality. The better the quality, the better it's going to look in game. You've seen my glyph. I've got plenty more to give out. Okay. Things like, can you be a guest on the second stream that they have? Yes, you probably can be. Bet on it. They're actually working on trying to get more people on the streams. Maybe I'll be able to get on the stream. Top supporters are able to get on those streams a little bit easier, but maybe I'll get on there sometime. Nothing special as to why you haven't been invited. They just haven't gotten around all the initiatives yet. Can you add your Twitch and YouTube links to the channels? They would like to make that happen in the future, but right now what they're doing is you have to determine, is your primary a Twitch channel or is your primary a YouTube channel? You make that determination, and that's what they kind of put in there. So that kind of like, you know, so you'll make that determination. Sure, you tell other people, hey, yeah, I primarily I'm YouTube, but I do have a Twitch channel, that type of stuff. So overall, it wasn't like a significant change to the criteria, if you will. I think the biggest change here is in regards to needing to now have weekly content instead of twice a month was before. And you have to have at least 1,000 followers, which is something that was not a requirement before either. And I can see why that is going forward for new channels. Obviously, channels that are in there, the criteria is pretty much going to be, you know, still what it was. They're not going to just boot you because you don't have 1,000 subscribers type of thing. But anyway, I'm hoping this helps you guys out. Anyone that's been interested in possibly trying to become a fan channel or whatnot, the ideas. You know, it's there. It's new qualifications. So feel free to go check it out and give it a try. Warframe can always use more great creators to help keep the game going and growing. All right, until next time, I'll catch you guys soon.